Julius already introduced by? Julius already introduced myself. My name is Peter. I'm from the Netherlands. The company Mustech Software, and we have as a product indeed the MXSuite. During this week, we were quite busy installing, configuring, adjusting everything within MXSuite for you guys. I believe for most of you, I think most of you, it will be new, something like this. Is there anyone that worked before with MXSuite already? On one of the other ships that you maybe worked before, or no? Okay. No. That's nice, then everything is new. I also want to sit down. And keep in mind that what you see on the screen is just my demonstration system. Because that demonstration system is fully filled with data. So this is not your data of your ship, but at least we have some data then. And I want to go module by module through it and explain what you guys on board have to do with that. And again, if there's any question, don't hesitate. Let's start with login. At any moment, you will receive on board one of those computers that are behind me, and MXSuite is installed over there. If you open the MXSuite via the icon that is on the desktop, you end up on a screen like this. And from here, you can select the username. So there is a user account created already for the captains and for the chief engineers. I believe there will also be a separate account for the chief officers, etc. So there will be a lot of accounts. Every account has different user rights. Today I will log in as an administrator, so I can do everything now. You get the password, enter the password that you got from Julius. Press the login button and the system will start. In your case, the software will start like this, most probably, with a pop-up asking you to fill in the actual number of running hours. Why? Because the maintenance on board is related to a time schedule in weeks or months or years, or it is based on the number of running hours. I think I'm not telling you something new now. But what the system should know is what is the actual number of running hours. Because if I have, for example, a maintenance task that should be done every 500 running hours, of course, the system has to know, okay, where are we? So what you simply do, you see here there is an actual value. And you simply change that to the actual value that you read on the counter. And then it's simply accepted here in my case. If I do something strange, like here you see that I put in a very high value. And that leads, in my case, to an average per week, which is higher than 168. Usually we have 168 hours in a week. So this is impossible. Now it could be that you are really 100% sure that the value that you entered here, and the value that you entered here in the field with actual value, that it is the correct value. If you are 100% sure about that, simply change the average per week to a value between 0 and 168, and then it will be accepted by the system. Okay, I do not save those strange values. Then after that, after you got that pop-up with running hours, you get this screen. It could also be that you start the system and it does not ask for the running hours. Because once a week, the system will ask you to fill in all the running hours. As soon as you fill in all the running hours, so all of them, the system will not ask you for 1 week to fill in the actual number of running hours. And then the system starts immediately like this. Now, what do you see here? On the left side, in the blue bar, we have all the modules that we have of the system. You can go into them, and also this morning we will go through them. And for everything, every module, I will explain what you have to do there. So what is your job to do there in the system? Let's start with the maintenance part. It's not only maintenance, because could also be safety-related tasks, checks, which is not really maintenance, but it is a task. So if I go here in the screen, how it opened, if I go there to the button work list, the system will generate now a list with all my maintenance tasks and all other tasks that you have to carry out. And you see immediately we use several colors here. Like here you have lots of red icons, but there is here also an orange one. If you see a red icon, you have to know that that item, that task, is overdue. You are too late. If it is orange, it is due at the moment, so it should be carried out. You are not yet too late. You are just in the window time. It's okay, but this is what you have to do. So in this case, but this is luckily, lucky me, this is my demo system. We have lots of red tasks. Anyway, what I see here, for example, I have a task, grease all watertight doors. You simply double click on the task, or if you don't want to double click, you can also right mouse click and do completed, or press on the 3 dots and you get also completed. Then here, if there is a description how the task should be carried out, in this case, in my example here, there is no description, but then you will see the description over there and clearly typed what you exactly have to do. If you have a remark, if you saw something that was not okay, or maybe whatever, simply write here your comment. So write here your comment. Or if you have a document that you wrote, you want to attach that, you can do that here in the documents. Or if you took a photo, you can attach it also here. And if you used some spare parts to complete this maintenance task, we can attach them here simply by pressing the button select parts, and then from there you can go, for example, if I'm looking for an O-ring, you see on top I can search, and then the system is looking through all my spare parts, and maybe I know that I used this one. I used 2 of them to complete this task. It's a little bit weird. This is greasing the watertight doors and I use O-rings, but okay, it could be. When you are finished with the task, you press the button at the bottom, task completed. If you are not yet finished, but you just want to save already what you did, maybe you did few of the watertight doors, you can press the button save as draft. Now you see also here that a new icon appeared as an indicator that this task has a draft. So if you open it again, everything that you wrote is still there. Also the parts are there. And you can add your other remark if you want. So I just type something. This is Dutch. So you cannot read that. Me either, by the way. And then I press the button task completed. Now what happens then? The task disappears here from the list. And after the configured interval period, the task will be back on the list. So that makes life easy for you, because you just have to go in respect to maintenance, just go to the work list and you get the overview with all the tasks that you have to do, and that's it. And then of course it could be that a task is linked to a chief engineer, to a second engineer, to a chief officer, or whatever rank. And you can see that as well. My screen here is a little bit small. You are lucky with the new computers, they are bigger. You see here that also the rank is mentioned. So in this case, this task should be completed by a deckmate. If you want, you can simply filter also here. Press the filter button on top. And please show me all the tasks that are linked to the chief engineer. And there we go. Now we have only all the tasks that are linked to the chief engineer. Easy like that. Is there any question about this part so far? If there is no question, that could mean two things. It's completely not clear, or it is completely clear. Yes, thanks.
To understand it very clearly, these are more like a reminder. You don't have to check on your weekly maintenance list again. You have to log into your own Colio to see your task you have to do. So it appears on its own when you already log in with your own username and your rank.
Correct.
So your task appears. When you do them, you save them, it disappears.
Yeah.
So whenever it appears, so that you have not done that one. Then if you're not done with it, you can do and save on the draft. Then when you're done with it, you come back, edit the draft, complete the task, save,
Correct.
it disappears.
Correct.
So when next time
So
comes,
you don't need that weekly list anymore,
yes,
because that weekly list should be included
on
here.
its own. So when you log in, you see your task. When you do your task, you go. So
Right.
you can check every day.
You
What
can
you
check
have for the week.
You have to check every
Every
day.
day. All right,
I think you have to check every day.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Something I want to ask, you say we have overdue.
Sorry, you still have
Overdue.
overdue, yeah?
And overdue is the tax rate.
Yeah.
Why due is okay, before. After completion of the task,
Yeah.
what color will appear?
Green.
Green will appear.
But the task disappears here from the list. So you will not see any green task. There is. I will wait a second. Let me show you quickly what is behind this. Yeah? If I go here in that blue bar with the modules, if I go to the module assets, you will see that we have lots of categories here on the left side. So we have a category here with engines and propulsion, and if I open that one, I have here a category main engines, and within main engines, we have the port side and the starboard engine. And what they will start doing here from the office side is to create this entire list with all the tasks that you see here on the right side. For example, here you see a task which is green. So that task will not appear on the list. Only the ones that are red and orange. So you will see several tasks here that are in green, and after a while, at any moment, they simply appear on the list, on your work list.
And there's something I want to ask you because I've gotten that experience. You show the red. Maybe that task has been there for long and it's not available. And that after doing the task, you try to click. It still remains on that. So what can be done? Because sometimes when you have an issue like that, you are confused. You have done that task, and you refuse to claim it's still there. So what can be done? System issue.
If the task is still there, while you did it, then maybe there is a misconfiguration in the system. But usually the task should disappear. But there could be an example. Let me tell you an example. If we have a task that should be carried out every day, and they fill in that task with a window time before, right, a notification time before the due date, and they put in 7 days, for example, then that task will always be on the list. But then there is a misconfiguration, that's how I say that, because instead of the window time of 7 days, it should be 1 day. That you get 1 day before you get your notification. So if you see things like that, you should contact the guys here in the office. Yeah.
Yeah.
Initially when you started, you mentioned of the running hours.
Yeah.
I think the system is going to go based on running hours of operations. Okay, in a case where the running hour of managing or salary they are not functional.
Yeah.
So what would happen?
That's a good question. I told you the system starts immediately with that running hour window, or it starts like this. In the case that you are here in port and the main engine is not running. You also can go manually to the counters, because you see also in the list there is an option here with counters. So I select that one, and here you get a list. And there is on top, there is a button with update. And at that moment, you get exactly the same pop-up as you from time to time get with startup. Now the case that an engine is not running for a while, then simply change the average to 0. That's all you have to do then. Because then it stops automatically thinking that it is counting. Because what it's doing here, if, like in this case, now let's take this one, 50. Here it expects that the dredge engine, by the way, you don't have a dredge engine most probably, that the dredge engine is running 50 hours in a week. So if you have, for example, a maintenance task that should be carried out every 500 running hours, the system is calculating that, okay, I have to do that in 10 weeks' time. If you put that to 0, the system thinks, I cannot calculate that, so the task will not be on the list.
What I'm asking is, you have a counter that is not, because you need to get the counter value and input.
Yeah.
But you have a case where the counter is defective, is bad.
Then you should repair the counter. Because maintenance is based on the counters. Some maintenance is based on counters.
What?
Okay.
So,
Well, also
A situation whereby a particular repair is being due, like this now, if you take it out, I believe it's been programmed in months, weeks, and days, depending on the time of the maintenance. Now, in a situation whereby you come on the system and you check the system, it comes to be that the person who relieved you, who you came to relieve previously, have not updated his phone probably for maybe 2 or 3 months, and you came and amended it like that. It will indicate red when it is overdue. If you update it that moment, what happens to it? It still remains red because I don't know. I'm asking. If you update it that time,
it will not remain red at that moment.
yes.
Because it's configured like that, for example, if it's really a worst case scenario that you described,
Yes.
that your previous engineer on board did not do any maintenance for 2 months,
Yes.
you will have a lot of red tasks. So you carry out the task, let's say on the 1st of a month, or whatever date, by the way, I don't use an example there. You carry out the maintenance, and then from the moment that you did the maintenance, the new due date is recalculated based on the date that you did the maintenance, plus interval period is the new due date.
Okay.
So it's not looking back, you missed 3 times or whatever,
Okay.
so you still have to do 3 times to do an oil change.
Thank you very much. Then another question is, sorry, I came.
But in that case, by the way, you should blame your previous engineer. I think there is something wrong there in his mind.
The other thing is, I came late, sorry. I don't know, probably it has been still said before now, or maybe you have to say it in the future. I'm talking about the ways of updating the stores.
Yeah, I will do that later.
Okay.
Yeah. I come to that soon.
Okay.
sorry, I wanted to ask this question. In that case, if the counter is down,
Yes.
you know how you can manually, when you run the engine, well, depending when the counter is fixed anyway, if you run the engine manually for 5 hours, you can actually have that input added to the previous, and
Mr. Julie, counter should be
no, what I'm saying is that
we they don't want to bypass it. Counter should be here. Like
May I add something
the
here?
whole counter of the two energies are not running. They are not working. You will see a counter should be here. That's why I asked you.
That's the common area.
Okay, let me
Is this about the counters or not? Let me first finish the counters. Because what I should suggest, but that's my personal thing, and hopefully you agree with that. If that counter is broken, on the display is whatever, you cannot read it. In my opinion, you go to that assets module here. Let me open that again. Here, assets. Go to the right category. In this case, for example, the starboard engine. Now let's take the port side engine this time. You press the button, new task, and you can do that because we configured it like you can do that. You write down the counter broken, and you click the button is defect because it is a defect that you report at that moment. At that moment, you also fill in the due date. So when do you want that it is fixed? Yesterday is not possible. Today also not anymore. Today is possible. Tomorrow is possible. So let's select tomorrow. If you go to the task description, you can write down that the counter is broken, should be repaired or changed, whatever. And you press the button save and close. What happens next? You see that we have here now a new, in the group with corrective maintenance, we have a new task that the counter is broken. There is a yellow icon here with a white exclamation mark. It is really small, but okay. And also here in my main engine port side, I see that in that category, in that equipment, we have an issue. We have a defect over there. This is the way how you can report also all your defects. And the second step will be, and now I already skipping a few things that I have here on my schedule for today, but the next step is that you have to raise a service request. I will show that now already quickly, but I will do that later for the second time. Right mouse click. Wait a second, please. Right mouse click, press the button, create service requisition, and then everything that you already wrote is here on the service requisition. So the counter is broken, should be repaired. So you can immediately press the button, save it to the office. Good luck with that. Then you did your duty.
Okay. I'll ask one question.
Yeah.
For instance, let me use a power pack machinery. It comes up here as one of the machinery to be maintained. And you go to the panel, doesn't running hour meter or whatever to indicate running hour. How do we attempt to read that? Are we going to use that same corrective measure? The machinery power pack comes up on the system.
Yeah, on the you mean on the list with
on the computer on this MS machinery to be maintained weekly or monthly.
But it's not configured with counter.
Yes.
No.
Okay, that's the day and month.
And
It's not designed. The machinery is not designed with.
Yeah, like a simple pump does not have a counter.
Yes, but it's coming
But
on the
it will come up here, but then based on time. So just weeks, days, months.
No, it will not show you the option of the counter.
Okay.
No, it's just based on the maintenance, in that case, on days, weeks, or months.
one more question, please. Talking about dates.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes these computers are not online due to network problem. And sometimes you go on blackout. So when you restart your system, most of the time, the dates and the time on the system takes you back. You have to come and click to update the dates and the time in your computer. So if that case happens, that means everything here will be red. So I'm coming somewhere. If you configure and it is still there, and you're wondering why it's not disappearing after you have updated it, will you check the actual date and time in your computer to see that it's corresponding with the year, the date, and the month that you are? Because why is this? If it's still showing, meaning something is wrong from the date and time. Is that correct?
We look indeed to the date and time of the computer.
Yes.
And that's our reference.
Okay.
We don't have another reference.
Yeah. You understand me? Okay.
But I'm a little bit wondering about what you say, that if you got a blackout, that
If you have a blackout,
or any reason that the date and time is changing.
yes.
Usually that I've never seen that honestly. Yeah?
Now the date is not correct.
Now the date, maybe the computer might restart and today's date is not today's date. It happens. It might go back like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you don't have, sometimes it goes back.
Okay.
The system error from the computer.
Probably
Does it affect the program?
The program. So you have everything right.
In that case, you should check the date and time.
Yes. So you have the configuration
was-
because sometimes when it keeps appearing red after you're updated, that means the date and time in your computer might be
It's
wrong.
important.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really important to be up to date with the date and time on the computer.
Okay.
There was another question. Yeah.
That like still this farm maintenance. Maybe the system maybe you have 250 running hours, you change oil, 250 hours, you 300 hours, you focus in ahead, you do this stuff. Like for example in the case of oil or spare parts, and those things are not available at that particular time.
Yeah.
Coming to the second time again, the same thing, those things are not provided. What should we do to recover that space?
May I make the question a little bit more general, that you are not able to complete a task, any task, you are not able to do the task at that moment.
Supplies.
For what reason it could be? Maybe you are at sea and not able to paint the hull. Stupid example, but okay.
Or oils are not available.
Whatever. I go back to the work list. And for example, I have here a task. It is here written as daily task, but okay, I don't care what it is. There is if you right mouse click on the task, or you press the 3 dots that you have here at the beginning, there is an option to reschedule the task. If you reschedule the task, you can reschedule that by yourself to a new date of time. So let's say I had to do it today, but for any reason I'm not able to do that today. So I postpone it, let's say, till the 12th of October, because I expect I have the oil at that moment, or whatever. And next to that, you have to write down the reason why, because that's a mandatory field. I write simply the word test now, then save and close, and the task will disappear now from the list because I rescheduled it to, what was it, the 12th of October? So the 12th of October it will be back here on the list. Another thing, there is here in the list also a button with history. If you go to the history, you can see exactly what you did with all those maintenance tasks. Let me check, where is my task? I expected, here we have that daily task that I just postponed. And you see, if I scroll to the right, it is rescheduled to the 12th of October, and the comment that I wrote was test. So you can always look back, what did you do? There could be one thing more to go to the history. For example, if you did an oil, you changed the oil filter on the port side engine, and then you realized that you clicked here in the system with a starboard engine. It's a simple mistake. Everyone can make that mistake, of course. You go back to the system, go to the history, you find the task that you did wrong, like this. Okay, here this one, change oil filter. And here it is linked to, oh shit, I clicked, change oil filter. Here it is linked to the starboard engine. And maybe I was wrong. It was the port side engine where I changed it. Then you can right mouse click on the item, click the button with mistake. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. And then it rolls back your action. So the task come back on the list.
And you correct it.
And you correct your own mistake in the system. Yeah.
Can you correct for this case? Can you do it? As in, can you do the correction so that you show
Can you
how
share
it goes
example?
I can show you indeed how it works. Let's take this task as an example. You see, this task should be completed, had to be completed on the 1st of September. So I complete the task. By the way, here you see the description, and I simply press the button task completed. So finished, and then I shit. This was not the port side engine, this was in the starboard engine. I can go here to the history. It was this one. Main engine port side cool water temperature. Oh, by the way, I forgot to show that. Here in the task, you see now it is the new due date is the 28th of March. Because I completed the task and it has an interval of 6 months. So from now today, 6 months, I have to do the task again. But I was wrong. It was the wrong engine. So I right mouse click on the task, press the button mistake. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Go back to the task itself. And now you see it's back on the 1st of September. That's it.
That means everything wipes out automatically when you open it.
You write up
Start from the beginning, you click
It's not afresh.
This was it. The things that it be like saved in graph.
We just take it back to it's not like exactly it's turning back
To the previous state before you made your mistake. Yeah, correct. Yeah. More questions about this part? Otherwise, I move over to the spare parts.
Okay, I want to
Yeah.
on the run.
Yeah.
So the system allows probably the chief engineer, let's say higher officer, to let's say delegate a task, or it has to be by default from the system.
If a task is linked to the chief engineer, we configured it that another rank can complete the task, but you first get a warning message. Maybe I can show that. I don't know what happens if I click on this one. No, I'm administrator at the moment, so I can do anything. This is old chief engineer. Here, this is what happens at that moment. If a second engineer tries to complete a task that is linked to the chief engineer, or a chief officer tries to complete a task that is linked to a master, whatever, you get a warning message. You get the warning that this rank is not linked to your rank.
You are right.
Yeah.
How would the system know this? You are the one because it's not the chief that is carrying on the task.
Because you log in at the beginning, and your login is linked to rank.
But if you log in with the correct code of the engineer,
I didn't hear that. So I think the chief engineer has to keep his password secret.
Like he asked, no delegation. No delegation. Like the situation whereby you have safety mate and navigational mate. Now you feel you want to dedicate some job for the safety mate or navigational mate. Maybe master wants to do that.
So that it appears.
Yes. Like it appears on the system.
appears on the system that it is linked to that rank. But you can filter out if you want. Or we can also make it that you only get the overview. That's also an option that we can do. That you get only the overview of your own rank at that moment. Maybe better. Let me make a note.
No, I'm not sure if the question is what the scientist is correct. It's saying that you are a chief officer and there's a particular task you want to probably delegate to the second officer. Mm-hmm. So you're asking if the system is able to do it in such a way that when the second officer logs in, it's able to see.
No, it's not that you can do in the system to delegate it to another rank, but he can see the rank in the list. The task in the list. So if you tell him, okay, you should do that task.
You have to give him that person's password also.
No, because he can carry out the task. He can complete the task here in the system, but he gets only the warning. But even when you get the warning, you can still continue with that.
Okay. In summary, what you're trying to say is every rank have their own task.
Yeah.
Stored. So I don't see any reason why you should want to delegate your task to someone else because that person has his own task. You understand? The captain has his task. So why is he putting them on to somebody who already has his own task?
You don't do that.
That's wrong. So you do that. You are paid for it. You are paid for it.
But the truth is that
help! Sorry? What's top for? They only have access to it. Okay. So I think we have to go to the next module and that's not.
You understand what I said?
You want to repeat that for everyone?
There is one thing I want to do.
Yeah.
Because in our normal PSS, even in other places, this automated there is a provision for ETU. But here I can see that we have chief engineer, second engineer, captain, and second engineer. The ETU is not here. So are we to take care of the ETU side as well? Or the ETU will give us the report that we put whatever.
The floor is yours.
For deep vessels, we need to have that thing was mentioned earlier. So why did you not here?
for it to give like right for civil engineer.
But we spoke about the top 4.
Yeah.
That was the idea that we agreed on last Tuesday.
For the editor, we put civil engineer /ETU.
Oh yeah.
/ETU. So the ETU will be here as well.
Yeah.
Because he has things to fill in for mainly deep vessels.
It was not officially communicated. We'll see how we can that issue.
So
communicated for the medicine.
Yeah, but like you said, this is recorded. Is it on record?
Yeah, it's on record.
Is it on record? So they can share the video to the ETUs.
Yeah.
That reminds me.
To the next question.
Yes, just want to know. Because there are different types of vessels. I don't know if this system we're using is just one and we're giving to all vessels. You have a different one for PSP, you have a different one for AHTS, you have a different one for AHTS DP2 or DP1.
Our software itself the software itself is the same software for all the vessels. But the content that you see there, like superstructure, engines and propulsion, main engines, starboard, port side, blah blah blah, that will be different per vessel. Because, for example, here in my database, I have a dredge engine. Most probably, you don't have a dredge engine on board. So that's why it will be tailor-made. The maintenance structure inside, the maintenance plan, will be tailor-made per vessel. And that's a big job they still have to do now here, also here in the office. But that will be done.
Also, typically we can, on the user rights, on the user we can separate the ETO. We can separate the ETO. So that
we can separate the ETO.
We can delegate tax specifically for the ETO. Because if
we can
do it is now to be one login for second engineer and ETO, and tax that goes to second engineer, we show second engineer / ETO. That's like this.
That's how we made it nowadays.
Yeah, we'll separate it.
Do you allow me to go to the next module? Or do you have more questions? Because if we have, 40 minutes for every module, this will be a long day. But it's good that you ask questions, of course. The next thing is about all the spare parts. In the same module, assets, you see on top that we have here, we have tasks, but we have also the parts. So if I select parts, you will get at any moment a list, and I can promise you it's still empty now in your case, but you get a list with the spare parts related to the starboard engine. So for every part, there could be a lot of details at the backside. Who is the manufacturer of that? What is the part number? What is the price of that part? Because also purchasing is working with the same list. Procurement is also working with the same list of spare parts. What you have to do, if you took, let's say here, what shall we take? An oil filter. If you took one oil filter from your stock, from your spare parts that you have on board. Of course, that could be linked already to the maintenance task. But if you forgot to do that there, you can also modify here manually what is your actual remaining stock on board. Again, right mouse click, press the button, adjust stock. And when I press that one, you can tell the system here, okay, what is the real stock? So maybe I have 4 remaining on board. You can enter a comment if you want. And simply press save and close. That's it. And now you see. This is strange. Adjust stock. I told the system it should be 4. I think there's something wrong with my system. Oh, sorry, this is the price. I was looking to the wrong column. Actual stock is 10 at the moment. See that here?
No, not the.
Sorry again?
You want it to run through it again.
Run through it again. Okay. Right mouse click. Adjust stock. You enter the real stock. Now let's say it's 5 now. You want to make a comment if you like. Because you, I don't know why, but there could be a reason that you want to make a comment here. Press save and close, and now you see that the actual stock is 5. And of course, all the spare parts can also be linked to a maintenance task. If I carry out change oil filter, this task, in my case here by default, already an oil filter is linked to that task. If that was not linked, you can link it, or maybe you used next to the oil filter. Oh wow, there are a lot of Dutch words here. There was also an O-ring again. I have too many O-rings. So it's this one. I used 10 of them. So you can make a list for every task that you completed. This is the list with spare parts that I used. And so there are two ways to update the actual stock. You don't like him?
I see it.
Come here now, that's still here. That's still here.
So there are two ways to update the stock, the actual remaining on board. One via the maintenance task. That's the ideal way, because then you know exactly carrying out this maintenance task, I use that. If you were counting what is the remaining on board and it does not reflect what here is in the system at the moment with the 5 oil filters, then you can manually change that to any other value that you want. Tell the system, this is my real stock, and that's it. Question?
I like the fact which you say that as regards maybe the starboard engine, every equipment listed there is in that is in this person. Now I want to ask a question first of all. Are we going to use are we using this same system, this same software to make requisition?
Yeah.
We're using this model.
Not yet. Not yet. Because also here in the office they have to fill all the details of the ships in the system, but at any moment in future you will start creating also the requisitions from this system. And that's why also the stock control is really important, because what could happen if they see that you have 12 filters on board and you ask for 5 new extra filters. They tell you, okay, why do you need extra filters? You have so many on board. Yes. And then, yeah, but I run out of filters. No, you have 12. Yes. This is the truth. Should be the truth.
Now, just to add to your question, I'm expecting you to ask is now, I know that for the stock area, you've got items that you have used and the one that is still new. So that will be refurbished. It's just like asking generally. Maybe we have the standard, maybe we have your top main engine, okay? Hopefully, we have the top main engine. I have liners, for instance, as spares. We also have refurbished ones. Okay, so I'm going to ask them, are you going to put in the new ones and the refurbished ones as a whole as spare, or you separate them?
If you use them as a wall as spare,
yeah,
then please put them in as a wall.
Okay, as a whole.
Yeah.
Make it a mark.
Make it easy. Keep it simple.
They're saying that maybe they make it on the remark that this is
refurbished, this is brand new.
Yeah.
Because we have like 10 liners. Okay?
Yeah.
7 is brand new. 3 is refurbished.
Yeah.
So now those refurbished ones depends on if the wall be as 10 spares or you have 7 new and 3 refurbished.
If you want to distinguish that, make 2 parts for that. 1 part for the new ones and 1 for the refurbished ones.
Just for them.
On the other hand, I think the refurbished ones, you could handle them as new. But that's just up to you.
Just for them to know, it's very special.
We wanted to conclude with this session to move to the next one, right? Okay.
If you allow me.
Yeah, I want to be sure. There's a code over here, there's an export and import. When you save, do you export? And when you export, where do you see what to export to? Does it come to save?
You mean those buttons on top that you saw?
Import and export. When you export, where does it go? In case you want to go back to the area you exported it to get it back.
If you export, you have to enter a file name, and at that moment, an Excel file will be exported, will be downloaded.
Okay.
You can
now send
and you can For what? For what do you want to send it to the office?
He's asking, you see, send on his what was it?
The money asking now, isn't it?
And here you have the list with all the parts now.
Okay.
But this is just a list of the actual situation. But keep in mind, the systems that you have on board is constantly synchronizing also with the office. So what you see on board of the ship, they do it also in the office. Correct. So there is no need.
Once I open it, synchronizing with the office.
Remind that there's a task, it's do it. Check your system.
Yeah?
Yeah, so now what we expect from you guys is that the chief engineer, the captain on board, have to work with you in the office to ensure you have proper stock of all the spares on board. So you don't have conflict with anybody in the office. You know what I mean? So you're doing it, girls are aware, you do it together, and you will show you what you have. And once you the system down, it's there.
That's a good because we have to feed, we get to time, we have to feed based on what you have now.
Yeah.
Then others will.
What of the import? We often give you tasks to
No, we didn't talk
no.
about import. You should have raised import and
You see here the export import option.
I'm familiar with the system. That's why I'm asking because I know how
Wait.
it works.
Wait. You see here the buttons export import because I'm logged in as an administrator.
Okay.
You will not see that button.
Okay. Thank you.
Maybe you can export, but definitely you cannot import.
Okay.
And there is also no need to do that.
All right. Okay.
I want to highlight the other two buttons on top that we have here. We have tasks, parts, but we have also details. On the right side here, you can fill in all the details about the equipment. So in this case, my starboard engine is selected, and I see this is a Caterpillar, an 3512B, with that motor number, that serial number, that rated output, that characteristics of that engine. This is also something that you can fill by yourself. You can make the list about the details of the engine. And that could help procurement, for example, if they have to order something, they can check the system. Okay, what is it? If you don't fill it, easy like that, they will ask you. So, in my opinion, better fill it once instead of that they keep asking you the same question. The other way around, if you filled it and they're still asking for it, I think you're also allowed to tell them, okay, please look in the system, it's there. Yeah? Last step that we have is photos, and you can attach here some photos of the equipment if you want. Sometimes for some companies that makes sense, for others it doesn't make sense. That's up to you. Okay.
Are you compressed?
Yeah.
Is that compressed?
Depending, if you attach a bitmap,
Yes.
that bitmap will be,
Is that compressed?
it is not compressed within the software,
Okay.
but when it is sent over the air, it will be compressed.
That compressed and attached.
It will be, when it is synchronizing, it will be compressed. But for example, a GPG or a PNG file cannot be compressed anymore because that is already in compressed format. Yeah. Okay. I want to continue here with the next module because this was everything about the assets module, which is about assets, about maintenance, all the tasks, and about spare parts and the details of the equipment on board. Next module that we have is certificates. On the left side, you will see several categories. In your case, you will have more categories than I have here in my demo system. I believe we already defined the categories here. Yeah, so this is the list with categories that you will get at any moment. And the thing is, for you guys, this is just to see, this is my list with certificates. You don't need to do anything here. It's just for the office. They take care about everything there. So what I see, the black vertical line here is the day of today. And for example, what I see here is, let's take first this one. This one is still valid. And here at the beginning of 2025, we have a renewal of that certificate. But for example, this one is red, so it's overdue. If you want to open the certificate itself, you see there is a paperclip in front of it. Right mouse click there anywhere and go to the documents, and you can open the certificate also from there. But if I click now on this PDF file, I really don't know what it is. It's sometimes tricky because I attach so many files in my system. Okay, this is an invoice for a charging session. But in your system, it will be a certificate. But I don't have certificates, so.
So Office takes care of it.
Office takes care of it. No need for you to do anything here.
Well, I don't know, but sometimes, some certificates.
For now.
For now. But certificates,
Okay.
those certificates get some more.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
you send a soft copy to you and you upload and send to you.
Now, just to add to that, please still have a folder on the office on board just for a case.
Yeah, the hard copies.
Please don't forget this.
I believe it should be the originals, isn't it? Yeah. Next module, safety, is about safety drills. So I created here some safety drills as an example. And what I see here, for example, that my MOB drill is overdue. I had to do that end of July, but I didn't like it for any reason. What you here have to do, simply double click on the line, tell the system on which date that you did the drill. You can make some comments here in the report section, and also select the crew members that were attending the safety drill. If the planning of the system is correct, then in the upper area with current employees, you will get the list with all the employees that are currently on board. If someone is missing, you can try to find them here in the list in that lower section. And you can attach in the second tab on top, you can attach also your document. Then press save and close. Forget this. And now, because this is a drill that I have to do every month, I also didn't do it end of August. So I do it again. I simply click now save and close. And now you see it's due again, because I was a little bit behind. So this is different, and I thought you asked that question with maintenance tasks, or it was you, I don't remember. That if your previous engineer on board did not do the task for 2 months, that was you.
3 months.
He didn't do the task for several months. Several months. I want to be safe now. He did not do the task for several months, and you do the task now, then it is the day that you did the task plus the interval will be the new due date. Okay. This module works differently because the ISM states, your ISM manual, SMS manual, states at any moment, for example, you have to do this MOB drill 12 times in a year. So if you did not do that, it simply moves to the next month. And then again to the next month. Because you simply have to do it every month, as an example here. Depending on your scheme that you have, of course.
Okay, now to further ask, for example, the engineer did not do his task from January till, let's say, April, that's 4 months.
Yeah.
Now you come in May, you want to update. Are you updating from January or you just update from May? Will the task be open for you to update from January, then you update January, February, March, April, or will it synchronize one update?
You know, for maintenance, let's say you need to service your engine. You not service from January. Once you service April, once you service, the engine is serviced. Then from there you can start pulling up every 500. It doesn't mean that you have to go back and begin to service from your service. No.
You postpone it when it is due.
You do it. Once you do it, you start from that date. But for something like this, you have your I say you must do this one. If you don't do it,
the drill metrics
shows
are
that
already on board.
Yes.
So you work with the metrics.
yes.
Yeah.
If you skip this, if you skip 1 month, it goes to the next due date. Of the time it's closed.
It was supposed to do it.
Yeah.
Right. But let me say another thing. What you say about your engineer did not do his job from January till April, whatever what. I really hope that someone from the office noticed that already during those months, because there are lots of tasks and the number of tasks is growing that starts to be read.
Yes.
Something is not going well then.
Yes.
So I think it's the duty at that moment also from someone here in the office to point to that and say, okay, you have to do your job, my friend.
Yes.
So you don't keep that one too long.
So I really hope that this will not be a real situation.
Yes, let me
Of an ISM issue then.
Yeah, but more like now the normal scenario you're supposed to have with respect to your SMS is that if the chief engineer is leaving, what we call a handover note to the incoming chief engineer or captain or chief mate or whatever. Okay, this also is going to be part of the system identity. Now, it tells you the history of what is pending, what is done, and all that. Now, there will be red stops because of they are all pending. Now, this could be due to office to be able to supply parts in the days where they are pending. So, in that case, but the incoming engineer, the incoming captain is aware of all of this. So, the system will be smooth. If those things come in, he himself will now do those tasks with the other engineer. It's a smooth system. Okay? So there will be a proper handover. So if all of these things are not there, then your SMS or the office is suffering. Okay?
Thanks.
That's to bring us to this. I think before we get to this part, at least we should be able to know how to include the crew in the system there. So that was done from the office also.
Yeah.
There's a crewing part.
Okay.
That's normally that's what you said. If the planning is not correct, so normally your crew is supposed to reflect. Once it's done, the crew is the system should know that there's persons
On board. Okay. So if there is a before delivery, we have to call the office, send me to the office.
Somebody
updates.
Someone is missing.
This is
Missing person should be done by the office. Questions about the safety drills? Someone? No? Then I want to move to the next module, and be aware this is about purchase, procurement, just how you want to call it. This is not yet in place, but I just quickly want to show you now already how you can raise a requisition to the office and how you can create a service request. So that are the two things. I just quickly want to show that, but once more, it's not yet in place. Because, of course, there should be also a lot of spare parts in the system first to be able to use it, etc., etc.
Sorry for that. As regards the drill also, you make the drill, you do it, and you write it in the paper. I saw attachment there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't show us how to make attachment in case you want to.
If you did your safety drill,
Yes.
there is here a tab with documents where you can attach them.
Okay. And you import from where?
Press new,
New. Okay.
and then
Yeah, okay.
you check from your hard disk where it is. Okay, purchase. First of all, if you want to make a requisition to the office to receive new spare parts, there is a button on top. No, sorry, before saying that, if you open the purchase module from your vessel, you get a list with all the open purchase and service requisitions or orders that are in the system for your ship. This is my office application, so I can see that from all the vessels. But in your case, if you open it, you can exactly see, okay, this is what I already requested. If you open that order, you can also simply view what's going on with that. So if you ask maybe for, okay, take the same example, you ask for 5 filters, and you see that order at any moment, you see, oh shit, it's rejected. Hopefully they told you why it is rejected, but you can find all the orders here. So again, back. On top, we have 2 buttons that you are going to use for now. New purchase order and new service order. This does not mean that you create the order, but you start the process of the ordering. And the start of the process starts with you. So you click on that. And then there is a really easy button at the bottom. There is here a button, Insert Required Parts. If you do that, all the spare parts that are below the minimum stock, because for every spare part you can set up what is the minimum stock that you should have on board, and a max, correct? It looks like you worked before with the program. So for example, you have a minimum of 10 and a maximum of 20, and the actual stock is 5, to make it easy. You press that button, automatically 15 spare parts, a request for 15 is made, because it wants to fill up till the maximum stock. If there is no maximum stock filled in, we only have the 10 as a minimum, actual 5, then it will fill up with 5. To at least reach the minimum stock. If you made a request, you have sent this request, and you open a new one, that button cannot be pressed anymore because you already requested that all those parts. Let me cancel this one. There is another way. Because I can also have here, simply fill in that I want to have an oil filter, as an example. Yeah? Oil filter. Simply type what I need. And the system is looking in my system. Where do I find an oil filter? If you made a typo, you can correct it there on top. And then you can select one of them and tell the system, okay, how many do you want to order? Now, I need 4 of them. In this case, if the purchaser here or the marine superintendent who checks first this is awake, he will see that your actual stock is 269. And you are requesting 4 more. You say no, it's not going to work. Okay, so this is also an option, that you simply add a new order line, look for a filter, select the filter that you need, maybe a seal here in this case, and you request how many that you need. There is a third option. I go back to the assets where you have that list with spare parts. And for example, from here, I want to order this fuel filter. Because I'm here in the list, so I can right mouse click and add it to my basket. The system asks me how many? 7. And now if I go to the purchase module, I create my new purchase requisition. I have the button here, add from basket. And then the 7 fuel filters are added here to the system. And of course you can add more spare parts to the basket. So you can create your basket, fill it with lots of parts, and maybe once a week, once a month, whatever, send out the request. A question is coming in.
Just keep it open there. On that currency euro, leave it on Naira or you
Oh,
number 1. Then number 2, your requisition have number. How do you send reminder in case you request for something and it have not been supplied? And you have to send a reminder. Does this generate a code that you can actually go and say, reminder with code number this? So the office can just go back to the code and see, or how does it work?
Answer number 1. Indeed, my system, I'm from Europe.
Okay.
That's why I have the euro as a default currency. I configured your system already that you have Naira as a default currency. Second question, you see here in the first column, the unique ID. This is the reference number of the order. Okay. And every order gets a unique ID number.
Okay.
But you can also open from the ship the same order and see if something happened with that. Because if I open this one now again, and I scroll to the right, then you see that the status is still in the status purchase requisition. So nothing happened with that. Which is quite logic because I just created this one. At any moment this one could be to the status ordered, for example, or wait for a price from a supplier, or whatever status it could be. That's something we still have to define. But it starts always with the status purchase requisition.
Yeah. What if you're ordering something that is not on the list?
Yeah.
You can edit. Then what about food requisition? Is also there? Okay.
There is no decision made yet about this question.
All right.
There are several ways, but I cannot answer that.
All right, thank you.
I keep also in mind, I demonstrate this now, I show it now, but it's not yet in place for you.
All right, thank you very
That will be anywhere end of the year.
Just a demo.
Yes.
So now back to maintenance. Now when you make your maintenance, when you're making your maintenance, your service, and you use some spares, when you insert the numbers of spares used during the maintenance there, does it update automatically in your stores?
Yes, sir.
Sure.
You don't need to go there to update it. Now the same thing with these requisitions.
If it is received at any moment on board,
yes,
it updates your stock.
you have to update your stock.
No. The system, as soon as you mark the order as delivered on board, because that's later on in the process.
Yeah.
But the process is not yet defined here for this company.
Okay.
Later on in the process, there is a step that you mark the order as received on board.
Yes.
As soon as you click there, you get the question, how many did you get delivered?
Okay. That's what
And then automatically it's updated in the system.
Because Because yeah,
So from your received items, you can click how many you received. Then automatically it goes up.
I thought about that.
And if there were, for example, 10 filters or whatever, 10 filters were ordered, and you receive only 8, then it automatically generates a back order for the remaining 2.
Okay, the only one I want to ask, after making the requisition, you send.
Yeah.
After saying, you want to have your own personal record of that requisition. Where do you go to print it out?
We can make in any status, like here, I have an option here, print inquiry, where you can print it. So we can make a print button at that moment.
Oh, no, inquiry.
Yeah, I don't know how we will call that, because that, again, the process is not yet defined. But in the process, we can make print buttons. Or download buttons, whatever.
A situation where you want to make.
But wait. I have one additional question for you. Why do you want to print it? This is your file.
I know what I'm saying. There are some time.
I'm IT man.
Okay, you are talking about the file. Okay, you are talking about.
I'm IT man. I don't like paper.
Why do you have to certificate hard file in the vessel?
That's bullshit. That's bullshit in my. No.
Yeah, this computer can crash.
But that's smart shipping.
Yeah, it should be.
This is smart shipping.
Yeah, of course. Come on.
So paperless.
I'm a fighter for paperless.
Yeah.
But still, it fails. We see it.
It will not fail because
Office has a record. You have.
In Nigeria, it can fail. In Nigeria, it can fail. Except something like that. It will stop. This one here will fail it. That's what you will do. Okay, it's not will fail it. So let us have it. Yeah, it will fail it. So let us have it.
okay.
The system is not the system itself.
Okay, question.
The system itself is hosted outside.
Yeah.
It's hosted outside. That's a good thing.
Let's say worst case scenario. Your computer on board crashed. You cannot use your computer anymore. Then Julius here from the office can give you access to the cloud-based version, so you can directly go into that portal, go online, and continue with the system.
Okay? Hope it's clear.
So it's already redundant.
Okay, when he logs in, he's still going to go to the office version.
Yes. No.
No. Usually, normally on board, they log in on the computer and they stay locally on board on the data there. But in case that the computer is completely broken, it's crashed, does not start anymore, you can give the user, that user, the right to log on also in the cloud. That option is available. I can show you later on.
Yeah, but when he logs on, he still continues from where he started.
When he logs in here, he stays only on the computer. He does not use the cloud version there.
Yeah.
Because all the data is also locally installed there on the computer. Without internet access, you can still use the MXSuite.
Yeah.
And on the background, it's synchronizing as soon as you have an internet connection.
Does that mean that there will be internet connection that network on all the vessels all the time to carry out this?
No. Not all the time.
The internet is for you to be able to communicate with the cloud, which we receive from.
See,
Even if you go offline, you can update your file. Whenever you come online, automatically it uploads.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. Now, question as regards this purchase. Now, a situation whereby you have a couple of requisitions to make, maybe from different. Now, you want to add engine, maybe an electrical requisition, and a particular page, and then you send to the office. How? Because what I've been seeing here is just one requisition.
But you can make extra order lines, huh?
Okay.
You click on the button, add new order line,
Okay.
so you can make everything there.
Okay.
So you put them in that basket and you come home. Everything will come to
Okay.
Yeah.
You select them all in the baskets.
Yeah,
I just add them in the basket.
Yes,
Yeah.
after you come to basket, you can view. You can view what you have done.
This is your file.
That is safe to run.
Not on paper, but in the computer.
It's good, smash it in sweet. Paperless.
Same thing, if you want to create a service request, there is the other button for a service request. The difference is, here in a service request, you cannot add spare parts. You can only write that you need an engineer. You can write what you need. And maybe, but that depends on how we will configure this. Maybe, and I did it here in my system, I have to link it to one of my categories. So maybe it's linked to my port side engine. Then I select here my port side engine. But that depends a little bit on how we agree on the configuration here. And then I can also save and send it. Or, and that's what I already showed you earlier, I made that defect because my counter was broken. Remember? I had it here in my port side engine. My counter was broken. Right mouse click, and I can create a service request for that.
Okay.
And then immediately you will see that it's counter broken. If I open it, it is already linked to that engine. But the remark that I created was also there. You only have to press the button save and send, and it ends up here in the office.
So your maintenance is linked to the request, the purchase requisition also, and service request also.
Yeah.
Your maintenance, the monthly and daily maintenance.
Yeah.
To it also.
Yeah. Because also, I think it was with this. Let me check. You see here, by default, one oil filter is linked to this task.
Yes.
I can also do right mouse click here and create my requisition.
Okay.
And then my purchase requisition is already created with one filter. That's also an option. So you can
work from it.
you can work from all sides.
So what in the case when you have a service, probably a vendor goes on board and takes, for some reasons, takes an item from the store.
I expect if you have that engineer on board, a service engineer from any company, and he is there to fix this cooling water leakage that I have as an example here. And he took, now again, the O-ring as an from your spares. You can simply go to parts, search for the O-ring again. Now I select simply something now. Use one of them. And of course, in my remarks, I can also write down the service engineer took part from stock. And save this. Now save it as a draft. Yep. Oh yeah. Good thing that. What do you see there? Have you clicked on that? I think it's only running now. Great. You remind me to one thing. There is on top. Why is my thing not working? Come on. There. There on top, there is a bell. And you see there is an orange icon, an orange symbol there. If you click on the bell, you see also what are your notifications. In this case, I have product orders that needs my attention. I should update my counters. And there are also some completed tasks that need approval. Forget about that for now. if I see, for example, here that I have to update my counters, I can simply click on that and I end up directly in my counters. Could also be that, and that's the notification that we just saw on this computer, there was a notification that there is a new document asking for your attention. Now, that's because we have that document module also in the system. And here in the document system, this will be completely filled, for example, with all the manuals. The safety management manual will be added here. All the documents that you have to create and to fill can all be created here. So what happens if I go here to my category with non-conformity reports? You are allowed, you're able here to press that button, new template document. If you click on that, you can select one of the templates that are available for that category. So in this category that I have here, for non-conformity reports, I only can create a non-conformity. I click on that. In my case, I have to select a vessel, but this is not for you on board, because then it's automatically selected. You can give that new document, you can give it a name. If you think, okay, I agree with the current name as it is, simply press Save and Close. And what happens next is that your Microsoft Word will be opened and a document appears. Of course, this is not a real non-conformity report, but this is just an example, a form document that I created here. You can edit your document, type everything that you need, close it, it will ask to save, this is simply Word, and then the system asks you, okay, what to do with the document. Is this a draft, or are you finished with it and publish it? Now, if you publish it, it will be in the system, it will be synchronized to the office, and for example, with a non-conformity, they get, as soon as it is received here in the office with the synchronization, they get a message there with that bell. Hey, there is a new document.
Another thing is, since we're talking about documents,
yeah.
What about permits to work forms that somebody has to fill and sign? And organization checklist, when you have new crew on board, they have to sign, organize yourself. Is it applicable here, or can we use our old system for that?
It should be if it's not shipping.
Yes,
It's also
so it's not electronic.
It's not electronic.
See, what we had earlier on, I already told you last time, that the document control officer is supposed to have those templates uploaded already.
I think that's what it was used for non-conformity.
No, it was different addresses. So you print out that form from that part, so they will now fill it, then sign. There is no e-signing.
I think you can
No, there is no electronic signing.
So they have to print out and sign, right?
Yeah. The thing is, we discussed indeed about that.
Yes.
I created this non-conformity now. Okay. Yeah. The non-conformity is here in the system. It's this one that is selected now there at the bottom. Of course, you can open that, simply view or edit the document. This is right click again. Or 3 dots. You can view it or edit the document. But if you opened the document, you are able to print it, to put the signatures on that and scan it. No. Next thing you have to do then is edit properties, because here in the edit properties there is an option to attach a file. So here you can attach a file. Let's take this file as an example, and it is attached here. Then you have the, let's say, the raw document, the Word document here, as well as the signed copy.
So you can't lose anyone. If you lose this one, you have this.
We will not lose anything.
We are not losing anything.
We make a lot of backups.
Yeah, the paper is not part of the paper. The same. Paper is not. This is
Not here, because there are many troubles with electronic signing. Not everyone accepts that.
Okay.
And to be honest, that's more or less the reason that we still did not implement that in the software, because it's not accepted everywhere.
Okay.
We have too many other things to develop. But at any moment it will be there. I'm pretty sure about that.
So just to recap on that one, for the document side, let's say the permit to work with something, we're going to when we upload that one, they see it as a Word document.
Yeah.
They open it, they can fill it, type whatever they want to type, then print it, sign it, scan it, and attach.
And attach it again to the system. Correct.
All forms and SMS are now in.
Not yet.
Not yet.
All the details of that.
This is how it is now. And there is only one document in that, and that was the test that I did with a non-conformity. The next module is about crewing.
Maybe we can take like 5 minutes.
A 5 minutes break? No problem. Let's take a 5 minutes break. The next module we wanted to talk about was the crewing module. And for crewing module, you see there is a list with crew members in the system here. That could be a very long list, of course, with all the crew members that we have in the system. What is important for you is that you can create here also your work and rest hour sheet. So I simply select one of my crew members, and here on top you see I have lots of tabs. I don't know yet how many tabs you can see, but if you can see them, it's just only to see the details. If you cannot see them, okay. At least there is there a button, work and rest hours. So if you click on that button, you can fill in the work and rest hours for that crew member, for the selected crew member, of course. So simply tell this system, okay, he worked for this day from 6 to 4. And let's say this entire week maybe, he started working with that. Simply press the save button, that's it. If you did not have enough rest, as an example, which of course never happens. Well, nothing.
You're right.
Yeah, it's true, eh? If by accident it happens, immediately the system warns you this is no good. So you get immediately that orange line there, stating in this case you have less than 10 hours rest in a 24-hour period, or when you had a block like, let's make something really strange now, something like that. It tells you also that you had no 6 hours continuous rest, and also less than 77 hours rest in 7 days period. So all the regulations are behind this. Yes, you are still able to save it. In the last column, you can write also a comment. So tell the system, okay, why did this happen? Also, the overtime is automatically calculated, because here you see, in this case, how did I, okay, I configured my system that you usually work 8 hours a day, I guess. Let me change it a little bit. Yeah. So what I see here, let's go here. I worked 19 hours on this day. My normal work schedule is 8 hours, in your case 12 hours if I'm correct. So I have 11 hours overtime. So that's also calculated automatically. But that depends. Here the calculation is a bit different, but that depends on the configuration of my system. Anyway, what you have to do is simply fill in the working hours, press the save button, and it is saved in the system. At the end of the month, captain, I think it's the role of the captain in your case as well, can approve the work rest hour sheet. He simply press the button approve, yes, and it is saved, and the crew member cannot change it anymore. It's locked.
I think rest hours ought to be signed both by master and crew. Okay, let me take the approve as master signature. What about the crew signature?
If you need the crew signature, you should print. And then sign it everywhere, anywhere. Deal of the seafarer.
So, what I will send, he's going to send this one, then later we'll send the signed one.
If you really need the signed one,
Yeah.
then you should print it. And I think they will make a category for that in the documents module then, where you can save them. That's what I expect. But once more, this part is also not yet fully discussed how that should be.
Most surveyors, they come on board, they request for rest hours, and they must see the signature of the crew and the master on the rest hour. So maybe if master sends this one, after sending, we'll print out our own copy, and then we'll keep for audit purpose. Okay.
Sign and file.
How this will come out when you print it? It will come out properly.
Yeah, it should come out.
Yeah.
Here.
It is like A4. It's looking like a big sheet.
It's A4.
It's maybe 2 page.
No, this is 1 page. It fits on 1 page. I was looking for that one. But this fits on one A4 page.
So how do you fill it? Just
Just
drag?
drag and drop. So you select the area you want to have, and then it simply inverts the current selection. So like here, it is now not selected. Here it will be selected now. If I select something that was already selected, it will be deselected. So you can make nice drawings with that. Okay, last item. It's about FLGO. And that's a really stupid name. And to be honest, I invented that name. That's why it is that stupid. I lost my mind a little bit. But it stands for Fuel Lub Gas Oil. That was the initial idea of it. What you guys have to do, from time to time, first of all, on the left side, you will see several consumables. Could be fresh water, could be oil, could be lub oil, could be MDO, whatever. Any consumable. And we have, or today or Monday, we have to define the list also for you. 2 things that you have to do here. First of all, there is a button on top, update values. If you click that button, you can tell the system, okay, how many do I have on board? And yeah, you can see here also the last time that you updated it, I had here 13 cubic meters on board of fresh water. So today I press 12. Now 4, let's say it's 3.5. Okay, I can fill everything, of course. You simply fill in what is remaining on board. Press save and close. And then you can see some drawings, and that indicates the consumption during a week at the moment. Second thing you have to do, there is also a button on top, fill bunkering. So if you bunkered, you received some fresh water, you can fill in, okay, I received 1 cube. Or maybe you delivered, I don't know if that happens in your case, that you deliver some fuel to someone else. So in that case, you delivered something. Fill in how many it was, and again, save and close. Oh yeah, indeed. You can also enter a remark. Here in the last column, there is a remark field.
Where you got it from, where you gave it to, maybe accounts wants to audit it.
Based on this information, the system can generate a printed form. And for example, if you want to know what was my total consumption from the beginning of this year till now, then the system calculates, okay, this is my consumption, my total consumption is written here in the last column, quantity used. So for my lub oil, I spent in total 996 cubic meters of lub oil. Oh, not bad.
Yes, I want to ask a question and make a suggestion also.
Okay.
Yes, definitely. Is this not a daily report? Am I correct?
No, this is not a daily report.
Okay. Now, the suggestion I want to make, if there can be another column for others, maybe like 2 or 3 columns for others, because sometimes you go to a field, you're working with the field, and they give you a particular product, maybe a bad product and good product, as you want to keep it on your vessel. You need to make another column for the bad product. Even when they, let me say you have fuel, good product of fuel and bad product of fuel, you don't want to just combine both of them together. So if it is possible to create column for others, at the end the remarks will be there, maybe bad product or whatsoever.
So that you mean when you had you bunkered?
Yeah.
At that moment, you want to have, let's say, that comment, good product or bad comment.
It may not be bunker, maybe MGO, it may be stored, it may be anything.
Yeah, but during bunkering or so receiving or delivering.
Both receiving, delivering, or stored on board, any of them. See.
Okay.
The other thing is you want to separate, let's say, have fuel on board. So when you say this fuel good, this fuel bad, or because you have a remark column that you can actually make a remark that you check that like half of this product is actually make that kind of thing.
So what you saying, for instance, I'm going to read. Now, if I decide to have a contaminated sludge or this thing, want to take it. It's not in part of the
Yes.
Okay, so the actual get like the template,
it may be stored
like a template now. You have for this consumption. Sometimes you might have a product that is not on the quantity.
Okay.
So there will be something they will manually have to see.
You receive
you understand me very well.
The question is if you want to use it for that. What is the question? Back to basic. What is your purpose
Can I ask
that you want to use the FLGO module?
No, it's for basic product consumption.
Product consumption for the ship itself. So if you received something from the wreck, it's not used for the ship.
Can I ask this question again? Well, this guy understood me very well. Now, you're working with the rig, and probably you have more. Yes, you have mode on board, separate, and they are giving you another mode that is waste for you to go and discharge. You have the column there for mode. I'm taking that for example, not going to the fuel. You have a space there for mode, and then the waste one that they give to you, instead of there's no way you can include it to the mode which you have. You have to make a remark, put it on different on that extra column.
That was the reason why I asked what is the purpose for this company. Wait a second. That's why I asked the question, what is the purpose, the reason why they want to have this FLGO module? If it is to register all those things, yes, I agree with you. If the purpose, the idea of the company is to just know how many fuel did we spend during a year to operate this ship, then that part should not be added here.
There's a manifest.
But that depends.
If I should understand you very well, what you're trying to... Sorry, sir.
What I understand, the question and what we are seeing there. What we are seeing there is for the vessel use.
Yes, not for the client.
Not for rig, not for any other purpose.
Exactly.
So if you are receiving any product from the rig, you have your system there.
Manifest.
You have your manifest. So you work with that system, not with this system. This system is for the vessel use, for office use only. That is what I understand.
And that's
Am I right or not?
That's exactly why I asked that question. What is the reason that they wanted to have this module? It is just for the ship itself. Yeah.
Now, just one more thing. Because if you watch to the models, like they mentioned about your receivables, as in for fuel and all that, and you're supposed to enter those figures, so that the office can also receive figures. Now, what I'm expecting you to ask is, what is the time limit for the day? We're supposed to upload these figures for the office to because it's a daily thing. So your IOB, for instance, now maybe for fuel, water, or thereabout, for instance. Okay. Now, what time are you supposed to update it daily? Is it by 12 noon? Is it by 8 p.m.? Is it by 11 p.m.? So there should be a uniform time where those things are offloaded. That's what I'm expecting you to ask. So I'm giving you an idea to
That should be a company policy, how often they should update it. And I cannot give that answer.
Just to my understanding, this system there is nothing different about it. Because, like normally, if you're working for a client, you have more whatever they use on you. There must be a system, like a supply, because this is a comprehensive system. You have to work for supply vessels and everything is there. For more waste, sludge, and everything is there. So I think he's talking about fuel. Well, the one you receive. Even if the client gave you 1 million, if your vessel can be able to apply it, you will take it. But it's written, it's in the system as well. So whatever you give out, whatever you take and everything is in the system, it should reflect. But not only for the chip system. It will reflect. No, definitely they give you more.
So do you have any comment?
What Captain is trying to explain is that whatever item you receive from the rig, even if it's fuel, it is not your own. It's a cargo that will be dispatched on arrival to the jetty. So the rig will give you a manifest that I gave you 3,000 liters of fuel. You are not supposed to add it to Ejovi 3,000.
Exactly.
Like if you have 20,000, you cannot make it to 3,000.
It's maybe
I don't know if I'm understanding you.
it's
There's a coding for.
It's
For you, not for Chakara. Yes. That is what I
It's
understand.
exactly what you said. It's cargo at that moment.
Is one fuel.
It's cargo at that moment. It's not owned by Ejovi.
Yes. So,
What if the transfer is one fuel?
Yeah, for
the
discharge.
company will now ask you to convert it to your fuel. You can now sum it up to your ROD and give them report.
And what I told you about discharging, because that option was also there, right? That you receive it with a bunkering, or maybe you were next to one of your colleagues, a sister vessel, and you gave them some fuel or oil. At that moment, you can use that discharging option, but not for the client's cargo.
This system, let's assume we are giving out company fuel. Is there a volume for ticket to issue ticket where you click the ticket?
What kind of ticket do you mean?
Ticket delivery for fuel.
No, we have that request indeed to add it, but it is still not added here. Sorry, but it will come in future. I will write it down again and then tell it again to my developers.
But that's the standard.
I know.
So Peter, in case they will add that, you know, it's better to also get a third quality input as well.
Yeah.
In case they will add that for the local when it comes about ticket issues, because if you want to send food to vessel A from vessel B, now the vessel B might request for the third quality when you're giving to them. If you want to include the ticket, the amount of food being delivered,
We will do base that on a form, so you can make it as you want.
Yeah, I want to like ask the third quality now.
But not compulsory. But the option is good that the option is that you have it.
Yeah. But we will develop that in future. Yeah.
I have a question. This FLG, is it applicable to which of the users?
Sorry again.
The FLG, is it applicable to all the users or maybe chief engineer or master?
It's a company that
The
will
chief engineer most times is in charge of pumping, the chief have a team for pumping. So he's in charge of that. That is the normal thing. I mean, it's different.
It's asking some question when I
I didn't see the units in case you
content.
So what's the content?
The drop down menu, but don't have any.
This is update values, so the actual content that you have, fill it in the value, and here you can select the unit, and here the date and time that you measured it.
The content drop this in.
Content should be here. Oh, this? Yeah. I prefer always to use content instead of the height of the usually only use content. Yeah. Okay. I showed you everything that is of interest right now, except one thing. I told you a lot about how the program works. My golden rule is you remember maybe 25-30%. I'm really lucky that I saw you writing your notes, so you will remember 50%. But still the other 50% is gone.
And you have flash for us?
We have recorded this session, that's first of all. Secondly, we have a website, doc.mxsuite.nl. If you go there, you can find almost everything that I told you. For example, I put it here on the screen, a question, how do I update my running hours? If you want to know how I complete or how I create a purchase order, then, I expected here on top, of course, in the purchase. It's anywhere there. How do I create a purchase order? How do I create a service order? So all the steps are written there. I'm pretty sure a lot of things are written there, maybe not everything. And if you have a question about how should I do some things, I think I'm free to tell you that this is how the program started. You remember?
Yeah.
There is here a button about. Simply drop us an email with your question. We have a support desk. They will answer the question. The goal for us is to do that within 2 working days. But I promise you, sometimes it's quite busy.
What about this one is just general question. Have nothing to do with a category. You update your system periodically.
Yeah.
And sometimes most of these icons disappear. You merge them with something. Just like your phone. So if there's any change of icon, is there a way you can? Because some people might not be, I don't want to use your word, might not be so observant to pick up a new update or a new icon or something.
Yes, we have updates from time to time.
Okay.
That's also why you see that button, check for updates.
So when you update, you list the things you updated.
Yeah, the release notes. Yeah. So this is the first thing. You can update it here. Simply press the button and it's looking on the internet if there is a new version available at that moment.
Yeah.
I have the latest version installed, of course. That's the first thing. But then the question comes, what is changed?
Yes.
It should load. For that we have release notes.mxsuite.nl. But to be honest, what is written here are just short lines.
All right.
For example, here a bug is solved in this version, in the latest version, that the maximum file size for uploading documents was not working properly. Things like that happens, and we try to solve them from time to time. That's the good thing. There are plans to improve this idea that with every major version we made a video with, let's say, the highlights.
Okay.
But we didn't do that yet because we have also.
Like WhatsApp video highlight when you update any software, you see what's new.
Something like that, we want to do that, but we need more persons that are able to do that. We are quite limited in time and resources.
Sorry, I've worked with the version whereby by the time it's a paid version, you pay for it and then you use. When they are not paid, when you don't pay for it, whatsoever updates you make in the system, it doesn't go there. There is no network for you.
If you don't pay for that, I have to say we are quite flexible with that. So we try to keep the line open always with the company. Please pay us, please. At any moment, we run out of patience, and then we simply close the program for you, and then you cannot open it anymore.
You can't open it anymore. No, that you can update. No possibility for you to update after payment.
You cannot open it anymore. No, and that's the moment that we quickly get the payment.
That means you're not flexible. What most people do is when they will leave it open, you update, but Office will not get it. It won't go anywhere. It will look like a normal system. When the payment is paid,
they can be warning you with temporary things like you will not be seeing Office updates.
Then you start from beginning to make all the